As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I am joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and it's a Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies extend greetings to all the participants from India and abroad who are attending today the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. This webinar series is being hosted on every Thursday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Today is 9th September 2021. This webinar series is on the topic John Deere's Journey in India, Integrated Precision Agriculture Solutions. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf and as Professor Emeritus of the Chairman of Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. I welcome today's guest speaker, Engineer Mukul Varshney, Director Corporate Affairs, India, Africa, Southeast Asia, and Middle East of John Deere India Private Limited, Pune, state of Maharashtra. For the benefits of the participants and the guest speaker, so far under this webinar series, the university has organized 43 webinars on the topics: role of agricultural cooperative societies and e-governance, blockchain technology-based fishery value chain, a self-contained village, a felt need of the day, spices informatics network value chain, lantana camera, a camouflaged treasure trove, smart hill agriculture, a digitalized hill agriculture value system, Mera mobile, Mera marketing, integrated mariculture, aquaponics, and precision agriculture, in short, MAPA biofarms for income revolution, smart tribal agriculture, optimizing value chain, digital agri-tech and industry perspective, land resources information system in India, present and road ahead, weather decision technologies for increasing farm income, big data in smart farming, sustainable soil and land management for climate smart agriculture, understanding market dynamics for increasing farm income, role of technologies in mitigating crop risk, how to generate additional profit via simple, attractive approaches in farm produce, how adoption of flexi rubber check dam technology, potential benefit for farmers in rain-fed and coastal agro ecosystems, realizing the economic benefits of agroforestry, Actosol, organic humic solutions for increasing crop yields and quality while increasing farm income and improving soil health, closing the nutrient loop, phosphorus management in protein farming, improving nutrient use efficiency and farm productivity, artificial intelligence enabled best management technology for agriculture crop protection without pesticides, empowering farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination, role of mass media, poultry monitoring, smart poultry monitoring solutions, agrobiodiversity, intellectual property laws, agriculture and farmers' welfare, and insight into the issues for Indian agrarian economy, manufacture and application of biochar for increased soil fertility and crop productivity, sustainable integration of livestock and agriculture for farm income increase, role of geographical indication on improving farmers' income, lessons from Asia Pacific region, Dairy Informatics Network Value Chain, a dairy tech startup perspective for farmers' income increase. Spices Informatic Network Value Chain, a turmeric startup perspective for farmers' income increase. Generating sustainable on-farm income through fintech interventions. Nutrition-sensitive agriculture, pathway for increasing farmers' income. Artificial intelligence and data analytics to ensure optimal nutrition in the soil, harvested food that minimizes human disease. Bioenergy supply chain, a business opportunity for rural enterprises and the farmer producer organizations. Tech enabling India's tech-starved farmers for manifold increase in productivity and income. Open insurance ecosystem for agricultural producers, risk management solutions to overcome repercussions on farmers' income, market stability, and food safety. Role of mass media for farmers' income increase, a case study from Green TV. Agriculture stack, open source digital infrastructure for the agriculture ecosystem, a Linux Foundation project. Circular bioeconomy towards resilience. Urgent need for redefining raw materials and modified waste management, policies and regulations. Agri-tech, a new horizon in Indian agriculture. Supporting of farmers for marketing will only help doubling of farmers' income by 2022. Rural transformation for farmers' income increase, case studies from impoverished districts. Mobile-enabled software as a service to solve complex supply chain challenges, a case study from daily alerts. Today is the 44th edition of this national webinar series, which will be addressed by Engineer Mukul Varshney, Director Corporate Affairs, India, Africa, Southeast Asia, and Middle East from John Deere India Private Limited, Pune, on the very important topic, John Deere's journey in India, integrated precision agriculture solutions. Dear participants, please note the keywords of the title. Very important keywords, 3 keywords: precision agriculture, integrated solution, and John Deere's journey in India. Agriculture sector is the foundation of Indian economy. It employs more than 50% of the India's workforce and contributes almost 17 to 18% of its GDP. At present, agricultural livelihoods are being severely impacted world over as a result of anthropogenic global warming and climate change. Climate change has got both direct and indirect effects on agriculture productivity, including changing rainfall patterns, severe drought, flooding, and changes in the geographical redistribution of pests and diseases. Indian farming community comprises of about 14 crore operational holders, of which 85% of farmers have got small and marginal operational holdings. Farmer needs timely, location-specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production, risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. Our farmers have put in best efforts to transplant the conventional and hydroponic paddy nurseries in their field. It is time we did guide our farmers and help them assess their crop health for better productivity and profits. Many national level programs, Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, and Stand Up India have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, and that too at small and marginal farmers. Honorable Prime Minister, in his independence address on 15th August 2021, he mentioned very important message. He conveyed a very important message to the nation. In the coming years, we will have to increase the collective power of small farmers of the country. We have to give them new facilities. They must become the country's pride. And the slogan is that Chota Kisan Bane Desh Ki Shaan. Small farmers become the pride of the nation. This is our dream. Reforms towards digitalization of agricultural systems. Doubling farmers' income by 2022 report 2018. Government of India, through its National Informatics Center, has prepared IT blueprint for agriculture sector through a national conference on Informatics for Sustainable Agricultural Development in May 1995. I was instrumental as the Deputy Director General, National Informatics Center. And Smart Villages came in 2002, 2007, and 2007 and 2012. And the Government of India has also launched National E-Governance Program in Agriculture in 2005. Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 11, Volume 12B of the Doubling Farmers' Income of 2022, report of 2018 of the Government of India, have suggested reforms measure for income rise through digitalization of the farm sector. Volume 3 talks about post-production agri-logistic, maximizing gains for farmer. Volume 4 talks about post-production intervention, agriculture marketing. Volume 11, empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination. Volume 12B, digital technology in agriculture. Volume 11 and Volume 12B, I was the group chairman for formulation of draft recommendation. This is with the intent to achieve efficiency gain and convert into profitability from farm to fork. Agriculture logistic is the backbone of agribusiness, and agriculture marketing is the brain behind value realization. The farmer's produce must connect with multiple avenues to obtain value at each place, across time and space, and in various forms. The Volume 12B has suggested strategic use of digital technology in farming system lifecycle through 7 recommendations. Digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, synergization of Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, and Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture in 3 categories: smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. Digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions. Digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro-level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. Digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities. Digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers. Digitalized integrated land and water management system, per drop, more crop, and digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss, which is integrating farmers' health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fish health. And we know that 85% of the disease which human get are from animal. COVID-19 situation has proved it. Doubling farmers' income by 2022, in its volume on 11, section 3.2.5 suggests that the need for development of a network of cooperative societies, CoopNet, and automation of each cooperative society to facilitate governance and operational efficiency in the cooperative sector is good for rural India. India has got about something like 96,000 to 1 lakh primary agriculture cooperative societies. Its computerization is nowhere is meeting the requirements of the farmers. They are the shareholders of the primary agriculture cooperative societies, and there is no farmer-centric value chain being established and made operational from the PACs. They're all challenges and opportunities. There are 3 farm acts which were launched during 2020, enacted during 2020. These 3 farm acts and the 7 mission mode projects for introducing digitalization in agriculture can result in 1 agri-tech, deep tech startup in every Gram Panchayat. It means that the country can facilitate 2.25 lakh agri-tech startup to facilitate 14 crore operational holders in the country. The Center's Committee on Doubling Farmers' Income has recommended boosting digital initiatives. Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead. Modi's, our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of making India, self-reliant nation, rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation based on 5 pillars. Economy, quantum jump; infrastructure, one that represents modern India; system 21st century technology driven and vibrant demography source of energy for self-reliant India and demand, whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to full capacity. The third tranche of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan was Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. The government has allocated 1.5 lakh crore booster, 1 lakh crore to agriculture cooperative societies, farmer produce organization and startups for boosting farm gate infrastructure. 10,000 crore for formalization of micro food enterprises and for following cluster-based farming approach. 20,000 crores for Prime Minister Matsya Sampada Yojana to pay way for additional fish production of 70 lakhs tons over 5 years. 13,000 crores to achieve 100% vaccination of cattle, buffaloes, sheep, goats, and pigs. 15,000 crores for animal husbandry infrastructure. 4,000 crores for promotion of herbal cultivation to cover 10 lakh hectare under herbal cultivation in 2 years, and 5,500 crores for beekeeping initiative. Agriculture mechanization, precision agriculture, integrated solution. Today's topic. Precision agriculture is the key component of third wave modern agriculture revolutions. First agriculture revolution was the increase of mechanized agriculture from 900 to 1930. The 1960s prompted green revolution with the new methods of genetic modification, second revolution. And the precision agriculture is the third wave of modern agriculture revolution. It is a farming management concept based on observing, measuring, and responding to inter and intra-field variability in crops. The goal of precision agriculture research is to define a decision support system for whole farm management with the goal of optimizing returns on inputs while preserving resources. The practices of precision agriculture has been enabled by the advent of global positioning system and global navigation satellite systems. According to McKinsey, the development of precision agriculture is shaped by two trends: big data and advanced analytic capabilities, and robotics, aerial imagery, sensor, sophisticated local weather forecasts, leading to predictive farming. It means that to give a pill, pill for the disease, predictive, farming. And rigorous data collection is done on soil testing, plot measurement, weather pattern analysis through sensors, equipped devices placed along the field. Means is a rigorous data collection is done on soil testing, plot measurements, weather pattern analysis through sensors, equipped devices placed along the fields. Why farmers today need to take up precision farming is an article which is written in 19th May 2019 by Mr. Amit Kumar Mungarwal and S.K. Mehta in Down to Earth magazine. I would like to quote some portion. Why precision farming? He says that increased agriculture productivity. It will prevent the soil degradation, reduction of chemical application in crop protection, efficient use of water resources, dissemination of modern farming practices to improve quality, quantity, and reduce the cost of production, developing favorable attitudes, and precision farming, changing the socio-economic status of farmers. There will be agronomical perspective, technical perspective, environmental perspective, and economic perspective. Precision farming enables climate-smart agriculture. Drawbacks of precision farming he holds that high cost, lack of technical expertise, knowledge and technology, not applicable or difficult or costly for small land holdings, heterogeneity of cropping systems, and market imperfections. And he says the policy approach to promote precision farming at farm level will be identify the niche area for the promotion of crop-specific precision farming. Creation of multidisciplinary teams involving agriculture scientists in various fields, engineers, manufacturers, and economists to study the overall scope of precision agriculture. Provide complete technical backup support to the farmers to develop pilots or models which can be replicated on a large scale. Pilot studies should be conducted on farmers' fields to show the results of precision agriculture implementation. Creating awareness among farmers about consequences of applying imbalanced doses of farm inputs like irrigation, fertilizer, insecticides, and pesticides. World today is rich in data, giving us deep insights into social and environmental challenges. Over the past 5 years, investment in agri-tech solutions addressing these social and environmental challenges have surged. Today, Indian agri-tech ecosystems has deep management from accelerators, deep engagement from deep accelerators, venture capital firms, impact investors, large domestic corporates, multinational companies, and public sector institutions. Today, Indian agri-tech ecosystem has deep engagement from accelerators, venture capital firms, impact investors, large domestic corporates, MNCs, and public sector institutions. Between 2014 and 2019, India saw 38 investments in precision agriculture, which focused on increasing farmers' profitability and sustainability, making this one of the top 5 agri-tech investment themes. Technologies used in precision agriculture today: sensor-based technology, GPS, satellite-based GIS technology, farm automation and robots, Internet of Things, and drone technology. Penetration of this technology in large scale are yet to be seen in India, but there are high advantage of using technology in agriculture. We also have to look into not only in precision farming in agriculture, precision farming in fish, precision fish farming, and precision livestock farming. And in the latest report, Global Forecast to 2026, it predicts 18 billion agriculture IoT markets, and it also quotes. It is available in research and markets.com. Agriculture IoT markets is dominated by a few established players such as Deere and Company US, Trumbull Incorporate US, Ravan Industries US, and De Laval, a subsidiary of Deere Laval International SA Sweden, and AKVA Group. Mr. Mukul Varshney, I was reading a sentence from the one. It says, agriculture IoT market is dominated by a few established players, such as first is your own company, Deere and Company US. Second is Trumbull Incorporated US, Raven Industries US, and De Laval in Sweden, and AKVA Group Norway. Market dynamics, the report says, drivers: strong government support for promoting use of precision farming technique, increased adoption of IoT and AI for various agricultural operations, and opportunities: growing adoption of UAVs or drones in agricultural farms, rising adoption of livestock monitoring solutions in developing countries, growing popularity on poultry robots and blind spot smart cameras, increasing number of cage-based farms in developing regions such as India, China, and Southeast Asian countries, introduction of agriculture-specific smartphone applications. The successful development and implementation of precision agriculture technologies in full scale is still a far-off possibility in the future for the Indian agriculture sector. The booming IT sector and extensive agri-IT research will pave the way for such a smart farming concept to revolutionize agro-industry in India. Let us now turn to the address by Engineer Mukul Varshney, Director Corporate Affairs, India, Africa, Southeast Asia, and Middle East of John Deere India Private Limited, Pune. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com, Shobhit University India, or youtube.com, Shobhit University in, or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit-University for establishing agri-tech startups. More than 6,500 startups, one per block, or even about 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups, one per each Gram Panchayat, to promote integrated precision agriculture solutions. This is my recommendation. And in this talk, Engineer Mukul Varshney will showcase John Deere's journey in India in spearheading integrated precision agriculture solutions, benefiting small-scale farmers who represents 85% of the operational holders. Let me invite our guest speaker to address the participants. Before that, let me introduce our guest speaker. Mr. Manish, can you put his profile? Mr. Varshney is Director Corporate Affairs, Media, Public Relations, and Communications, overlooking these responsibilities for John Deere in India, Africa, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. In this role, Varshney is responsible for leading corporate relations, including government affairs at the national, state, and community levels, overlooking policy and business advocacy. Engineer Varshney leads John Deere efforts in various capacities as a board, governing council, and executive member on trade and industry association bodies such as US India Business Council, Agriculture Skill Council of India, American Chamber of Commerce in India, Deccan Chamber of Commerce and Industries and Agriculture Pune, and Tractor Manufacturers Association, Confederation of Indian Industry, and AICMA. Varshney brings with him over 31 years of experience in channel management, strategic and business planning, and new business model, sales and human resource process re-engineering, agri-solutions, and biofuel management. More recently, during the 2020-21 COVID crisis period, Varshney's recommendation on agricultural reforms got noticed by the central and state level governments, and at an industry level. The same is viewed as being pertinent and beneficial to further the needs of the food growers, expedite lives and livelihoods and food security of the nation, and modify the policy provisions prioritizing agriculture overall. Strongly advocating and promoting equity for women and agriculture mechanization has been another key area. Varshney has been spearheading to drive specific Deere project efforts there. All along, Engineer Varshney has demonstrated a passion for modernizing the Indian agriculture, making significant contribution in key areas like agriculture mechanization submissions, food and water security missions, post-harvest residue management, agri-entrepreneur, and custom hiring centers in the country. He is the council member for Vision 2020 Cotton Mechanization Program, Integrated Farming Solutions, and Skill Development in the Agriculture sector. He joined John Deere India in 1999 after working with Mahindra & Mahindra in the automotive division for 11 years. He holds a graduate degree in business from the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and a degree in engineering from Allahabad University, and a certified coach for neuro leadership. Deere Company is a world leader in providing advanced products, technology, and services for customers whose work is revolutionizing agriculture and construction. Those who cultivate, harvest, transform, enrich, and build upon the land to meet the world's increasing need for food, fuel, shelter, and infrastructure. With this, I welcome Engineer Mukul Varshney to address the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture, on the topic John Deere's journey in India, integrated precision agriculture solutions. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Moni, and very good morning to everyone. And before I proceed, may I request Mr. Chabra so that my colleagues, Mr. Raj Anand, Mr. Amit Bora, and Mr. Parag can also be a part of this because they will be making a few references to the entire presentation, and I would be including them. First of all, I want to thank Professor Moni for a wonderful, overview of what this university is doing and the list of things that you have included in the topic. The reason why I say so is there are not many academic institutions who would have the bandwidth and the depth to look at agriculture in the way, Professor, you just described. So half the problem that we see from the talent seems to be well addressed by your words, and I think the way Shobhit University is trying to bring in and develop talent, it's not going to be very far where we will see the talent in this sector. Now, agriculture, all said and done, has been an area which was neglected so far in terms of education, in terms of transformation, in terms of research, development. And that's why we see, despite that a large population here, very few people have access to technology because that was not in a very scientific way either being looked at. But John Deere, as you said, Professor, has been an organization which has completely dedicated and immersed itself into development of technologies for agriculture. And I think over the last 180 plus years, we have been constantly upgrading and bringing solutions that have farmers world over become even more productive and also even more remunerative in their farming operations. Having said that, I think I would also like to refer to your talk, and as you just summarized, the recent 15th August address by the Prime Minister Modi. I think that's an area that needs to be looked into, and John Deere did spearhead, and I'm going to cite a few examples as to what we did in order to make these small and marginal farmers really feel valued and included in the agriculture ecosystem. Last but not the least, I think your definition and your overview on the precision agriculture was very apt. It makes a lot of sense because that's exactly what we are doing. And I'm going to cite a few examples along with my three colleagues, and share as to what and how and where we intend to take this precision agriculture when we talk about Indian agriculture in specific. So with that, once again, good morning to everyone who's there. Just a quick introduction. I'll start with Mr. Raj Anand. He's the Regional Safety and Strategic Standards Manager with us, looks after the business in Africa, India, and other geographies in the region. He is a person who has worked in, I would say, infrastructure products and agriculture products, so he understands both sides of it. Then we have Mr. Amit Bora, who's the General Manager, Corporate Affairs, but he has been a technocrat all through his life and worked in various programs like manufacturing services, embedded services, so he understands precision far more deeper. And then, of course, Mr. Parag Kulkarni, who's a senior lead engineer, one of the sharpest and the youngest talent that we have here, brings in that last mile connectivity which is needed to actually bring a transformational solution. So I think this team that you're seeing, everyone is seeing, is responsible for Deere's growth, Deere's strategy, along with the other leaders. We have, of course, the India leadership team, but here's some of the people as an example as to how committed this company is in India, as committed and as influential as we are globally. So with that, I will go to my first slide, and may I request Mr. Amit to open that slide so I can share a little bit as to what we are and how we are trying to bring these solutions. I hope everyone can see the slide here. Professor, is that okay? Right.
You can
So we don't.
you can hide the hide one button in the bottom. Okay.
Is that okay? So when we talk about doubling the farmer's income, and Professor, you did touch upon various areas, I think it's important to look at agriculture from um, a very, very predictive agriculture standpoint, because that important thing was missing so far. Now, doubling the farmer's income just cannot happen by interventions in agriculture. I think rural infrastructure interventions are equally important, because if the rural infrastructure is not in the priority, doubling the farmer's income will become a dream. It will not become a reality. And let me give you one example. The recent drive to connect every village by road is one major intervention that the government has done. Two, the drive to bring electrification to the rural areas is second major intervention. Three, water management system and irrigation system in a very focused manner is the third major. And the fourth, I would say, and the biggest, is the digitalization and the digital platforms now available in the rural area. So they are actually leading to bankable, the unbankable. There is faster internet services, so information is seamlessly flowing. And the third most important thing, of course, besides the several other thing, is talking about direct benefit transfers to the rural areas, which is far more convenient. There is transparency, there is traceability, and I think that is what was needed in the system, which I think the government is very, very particular and focused, and that is going to be a major support to double the farmer's income when we talk about agriculture interventions. We'll go to the next slide. So here is the beginning of John Deere. You know, John Deere is a name of a person who actually invented this plow. It was a self-cowering first mold-board plow. That's where how our engineering capabilities were best tested. It was in 1837, and from this plow to what we are today, we are talking about artificial intelligence. We are talking about smart connected machines. We are talking of real-time information, decision making. It started with this plow. And we are very proud as to how this organization has not only done well in terms of the research and development, but it impact globally in several economies. I think we are very proud and we continue to do so. We'll go to the next one. So recently, and I think this is on the 3rd of December, if my, or maybe 7th of December, I may be a day here and there on my memory, but December 2022 saw a new purpose. Of course, we were committed to those linked to the land, but the new purpose is we run so life can leap forward. That's the new purpose. And I think it's important for every individual, every institutions, and every organization to have a meaningful purpose in life. Because if you don't have that, you will be traveling to some destination without knowing where and why you want to go there. So the purpose becomes so important. And I think if you live that purpose, you channelize the entire energy, everybody's directions, and also focus in the organization. You can have a purpose in life, but how do you deliver that purpose? What are the values that you talk about is even more important. And that's what we do in John Deere extremely well. So the 4 values that we talk about is integrity, quality, commitment, and innovation. Now, there is no compromise to these 4 values that we talk about, come what may. And I have several examples that we will leave the business when it comes to compromising these values. We don't compromise. We do it with pride and we do it with integrity. Our products are the highest quality, our services are the highest quality. And once we have made a commitment, it is, is, as we say in Hindi, patthar ki lakir. There is no deviation. we make a very well informed decision, but once the decision is made, a commitment is made, we have to adhere and deliver that commitment. And of course, as you would have seen, and Professor Moni, you yourself illustrated how John Deere's journey has been in bringing several products. Constant focus on innovation has kept us alive and ahead in serving the farming communities globally. I'll give you one more example of integrity before we go to the next slide. Integrity typically is seen as corruption. Integrity has a far deeper meaning than just that. It is also means that mutual respect, and you can see this in the little picture when a young boy is walking hand in hand with his father. His father is wearing that golden wristwatch with the slippers, and the employee of the John Deere is encouraging him, because if we don't keep the interest, if we don't treat people well, the young people well, their interest and engagement in agriculture will decline over a period of time. So we not only build products for the current generation, but we create an enabling environment with due respect, inclusion, respect for diversity, not only gender diversity, language diversity, religion diversity, come what may, and all that forms a part of our integrity. And we create an enabling environment so the young generation is inspired to continue doing agriculture with much more advanced and promising outlook. We'll go to the next one. Now, this is a brief history. I mean, we are there in agriculture, turf, construction, forestry, and of course, in road construction. We are a $39.54 billion company as the year ended last year, and we continue to grow, do well. So this is just to tell you that everything to do with land, John Deere has its presence and a significant technologically advanced presence over there. So here is where our journey starts. And as I was mentioning, it's very important for us. And there is a reason why we have chosen this picture. And Professor, you did touch upon that subject. And we strongly believe that the agriculture solutions should be gender neutral. We have to have solutions where the men, women are equally inspired to participate in agriculture as they are in IT sector or service sector in the urban area. And this is why we chose this picture. We are about 24 years in India. We have constantly been talking about inclusion. We have, from the day one, products that differentiate, were easy to drive. From a drudgery driven environment some 15, 20 years ago, driving a tractor was seen as masculine, changing a gear or braking systems were seen very differently. But today, all that has been redefined. And I'm going to touch upon that in my coming slides as to how convenience has entered agriculture machinery and what kind of a difference it has started to make in the lives of these farming communities. So we started a journey in 1997, and it was a joint venture. And of course, as we built a factory and brought more products into the system, because of several individual preferences, it was completely acquired by Deere and Company in 2005. And then we have started to introduce several new products, several new technologies. And you can see from the harvester factory to a new factory in Devas, to the John Deere Financials, to the electronic solutions factory, to the parts distribution center, and of course the recent acquisition on Gridgen, which is the world's largest and the best and most technologically advanced road construction machine. You would see a lot of them on the highways. This is what our India footprint looks like. We have 4 manufacturing locations. We have presence all over the country, 22 area office, 650 distributors or channel partners with over 1,200 stores that they have. We call them as touch points, where the farmer can reach, take services, get information, or buy new products. and we constantly invest in upgrading the talent. So we have training centers strategically positioned across in each region. I'll say north, east, south, and west, where we bring talent from the rural area, train them, and they become a part of the dealer network in terms of servicing farmers seamlessly. Now, here's the story that I would like to say that, of course, we are there with tractors, we are there with implements, harvesters, we are there as a finance company. We realized very early that it's not about just bringing a tractor to India. You know, tractor in itself has no meaning to the farmer until and unless it is well complemented by a matching implement. You know, tractor is only a mode of transport or a mode of moving from one place to another, but it actually brings value to the farmer only and only when it has a right and very quality oriented implements behind it. There are hundreds and thousands of implement manufacturers, hundreds and thousands. And I'm sure Professor Moni, you and a lot of students or those who are on the call, when they drive from A town to A grade cities to the B grade cities or B grades to C grades, you would see many of these implement manufacturers on the roadside. Now, it's not a question that we have too many of them, but the question here is how many of them use the right design? How many of them use the right technology to build these implements? Now, you can just have, I'll give you an example of one of the cultivators. The cultivator, if it doesn't have the right weight, if it doesn't have the right angle, if it doesn't have the right material, which is at the shear point, it will not penetrate into the soil. The farmer may say that I used a cultivator, but the soil will not turn. It might just be 2 to 3 inches that it would have scrapped instead of turning the soil to prepare the seed bed. And the entire productivity of that farm can change by just one implement, which is cultivator, if it is not right. So what we are doing, we are actually partnering with people, giving them the right know-how so that they start manufacturing the right implements. And when the implement is right and it is suitably matched to the horsepower category, you will see that it starts making the difference in the farmer's life. Similarly, we did come with tractors. We brought several implements, but we also realized it's also important to have the right harvesting solutions. A quality harvester, and you can see in the picture that there is an harvester which is very unique, works in different crops. So farmer just has to buy one harvester. He can do soya bean, he can do wheat, he can do rice, he can do gram, a couple of other crops, because the farmers will not have affordability to buy a specific harvester to a crop, and therefore a multi-grain harvesting solutions was needed so he can use in different crops and effectively leverage the equipment. Also, I think we all are very proud when we brought the financing solutions, and there are hundreds and thousands of local unorganized financing channel partners in the village who would have very high rates of interest or would not have the right transparency on the terms they would finance. There are also very good non-banking finance companies, very respectful non-banking finance companies. There are public sector banks, very respectfully there. But we were the first ones in the country, and I would like to be very proud, that brought the entire agreement in the local language. Typically, the agreements are in English language. Now, what happens? You go to a villager, a farmer who's not very well educated, and generally what the finance company would say, this is a standard. You don't have to worry about it. It's all standard. It's there with all the customers. The poor farmer doesn't understand, and he signs the dotted line, and some of the clauses may not be in his favor. What we did, we brought this in several languages. So if you are from Orissa, it would be in your language. If you are Tamil Nadu, it will be in Tamil language. If you are from Karnataka, it will be in Kannada. If you are from Andhra Pradesh, it will be in Telugu, Hindi, and that led to enhanced transparency. We also brought speed into our loan disbursement. If everything is right, our loan can be disbursed in something like 4 to 5 days, which is very high, as against the public sector bank taking a month time and several documentation. But with the trust, transparency, and speed, we have been able to cater and redefine the financing. And I would be very proud to say that our NPAs are less than 1%, which is again a huge benchmark. Because of this trust and transparency and being with the customer at good and bad times, we have been able to manage a very healthy portfolio. Professor, you talked about inclusion or making small and marginal farmer the pride of the nation. Here is something that we do, which actually is a commitment and reflection of our commitment to make those small and marginal farmer feel included. The custom hiring center. I know, and you know, and all my colleagues here know very well that everybody cannot afford a tractor if the annual utilization is less than 500 to 700 hours. So the tractor actually pays for itself. You can very safely and easily pay the EMIs if you've taken a loan, but the annual usage has to be more, anywhere between 700 to 1,000 hours. So custom hiring center was the concept that we first brought. And I would like to share a story. This was way back in 2011. And that time, the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi, now Honorable Prime Minister, came up with the concept of inviting the industry. How can some of these small and marginal farmers who actually leave their half acre or 1 acre or 1.5 acre of land untilled for years and go to the neighboring cities to work as daily paid laborers? How can we bring them back? And more so, if they come from not only economically poor background, but also from a different strata of life. And this was started in 2011, where John Deere, along with the government of Gujarat, piloted a few locations to see whether this can work or not. And along with the local NGOs, we created these custom hiring centers. This was probably the first time, probably, I'm using the word probably because we don't have organized data towards it, but probably the first time organized custom hiring center with a very defined role and responsibility of the government, of the technology partner, and of the executing partner was defined in a matrix, which was being reviewed every quarter by all the stakeholders. You will not believe, and I want feel very proud that we actually impacted more than 15,000 families, and many of them would be earning something like 25 to 30,000 rupees a year in as daily paid laborers, very poor quality of family life, where their income levels went up to as high as 1.2 lakh rupees per annum. Their children went to better schools. The women in the house had better nutrition, and the land that was untilled for several years was brought back to agriculture. We have a separate story on that, and it's a long story which between Mr. Amit and myself we can share with you at any point of time on a different forum. But the way we brought agriculture land, the way we brought and impacted these families is something that we as John Deere are very proud of. We'll go to the next one. So this is the company that we recently acquired, and this was acquired about 2 years ago. Is that right, Mr. Rajanand? 2 years or 2.5 years, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, sir, you are right.
Yeah. So,
2017 onwards.
so this is a German company. It's been in India for several years. And also, I feel very proud because recently we saw a video where there is a world record created in the longest road that has been constructed in one single day. The width, the length, it is the world record. And that road is made in Gujarat by a company using these machines. So it's not the top quality machines, but it has created a world record in terms of the, the length of road that has been built in one single day. So to that extent, we are bringing value not only in agriculture, but in road construction and in other areas like forestry and earth moving equipment and so on. May I request it muted if there is anyone else who's unmuted, please, because I can see here an echo at this moment. We go to the next slide, Mr. Amit. So we were talking about empowering, and we were talking about skill development, and I think, Professor, you did touch about it in your initial comments. Now, you can see these boys sitting there. And I remember this again, an initiative in 2009, 2010, and we started to explore this with Tata Chemicals Limited. The idea was, how do we meaningfully engage the boys who either fail in 10th standard or pass 10th standard and do not pursue further education? These youth definitely are talented, but for several reasons are not able to pursue education. So John Deere in its initiative, along with Tata Chemicals, identified such boys who are 10th fail or maybe just 10th pass, and we got them together, trained them for over 3 months. And I think it's again a very proud story to share. I personally went and met some of the parents after about 6 months when these boys were trained and they started working as a local entrepreneur in the village, advisors on agriculture, drivers, bringing technology. Their parents said कि साहब हमारा शर्म से सर झुका रहता था, लेकिन आपकी वजह से कम अब हम सम्मान से जी सकते हैं. Now, this is transformational. This is transformational. And I think it's a responsibility that every company should share. Because if there is no value to the communities, to whatever we do, it has limitations and it is not sustainable in the long run. Similarly, we were talking about some of the technologies, and I think you're going to come in the next slide. The women also are equally interested to make their career as agriculture entrepreneurs. They remain in the village. Sometimes they don't get enough opportunities to go out, but there is aspiration and aspirations to do something, aspirations to improve the family income. So why not train these women? And I was also very surprised when I visited Ganganagar, and that I visited once. I had seen a picture on India Today of Iris Learning Center owned by Shruti Malik when she started to train women on John Deere tractors. And this India Today had featured her and this women with a John Deere tractor learning. And then she says, this has been one of the good programs that she initiated, and she found interest that the women want to drive tractor. And I'll tell you why John Deere tractors could be an advantage in my next slide when we talk of technology. But I think the inclusion and the impact can best be achieved if we have men and women participate in such economy growth. We'll go to the next one. So here's something which is now getting little technology oriented, from the soft part of the story that John Deere has built to much more technology side of it. So initially, you will see that we are talking about convenience, where things like power steering and perma clutch. Then we are talking about some technology, but then the technology actually turns into a much more smarter way of communicating back with the owner, and also technology deployment. So just from convenience to communication is what we felt was needed, and in a phased manner. So when we brought the first tractor in 2000, we introduced it with power steering, and Professor, you would know, and many others on the call would know, that time cars didn't have power steering. In 1999 and 2000, they didn't have power steering, and many people told us, okay, well, you're trying to bring a technology which is of no use because the land is hard, it will fail. There is no technology like power steering in the automotive, and you are bringing in a rural product. But we knew what difference this can make. I remember a farmer in Madhya Pradesh, and in the summers, he had to complete a dam project because the rains would come in a few days. So he was doing it. Just because there was power steering and there were power brakes, he was able to drive 18 hours every day and he wouldn't feel tired. Now, that's redefining technology for the country. Today, I'm very proud to say the entire industry has a product which has a power steering on it. They have oil immersed disc brakes or hydraulically actuated disc brakes. Earlier, the braking system was drum brakes, and if the tractor is going down the gradient or is going up the gradient, or if there is a minor technical fault in the brakes, because the brakes won't apply, the tractor will not stop. Or if there is a heavy load on the tractor, there could be momentum or inertia that will not allow the tractor to stop. There were accidents, there were fatality, but we brought those standards where you can just apply the brake with soft pedal and it will stop then and there, be the gradient or be the slope, or regardless of whatever quantum of load that you have in your trolley. The braking system and the power system, the power steering system redefined the entire industry benchmark, and today everybody is following that. And then, of course, we brought information systems like telematics, so you have real-time information coming onto your smartphone. So regardless of where you are, you will be kept informed as to how much, at what speed your engine is running, how many hours it has clocked in the day, whether the driver is stealing the fuel, tractor is stopped, driver is sleeping, what is the temperature of the engine, when do you need to service it. And there were several things that we brought that enhanced the convenience. And finally, we talked, how do we further move from convenience to communication? And that's where the auto track and Navi Assist was introduced. And you can see this tractor in the orchard of grapes. Sometimes what happens is that you have rows and you have plants, and then the farmer forgets up to which row and which plant he has done the spray. So what he will do, he will double it, or sometimes he will miss it, or sometimes he will tie a red cloth to the last plant that he has sprayed, and if there is a wind or there is anything and the cloth has fallen down or flown away, he will again get confused. But these kind of technologies that can communicate back to the, you were on the row 5, you were up to the plant 11, you have to start from the plant 12, that has led to less utilization. You don't no longer do double spray or you no longer miss it. You do it exactly, and that's where the journey of precision, starts. And that's where the word precision is. You do everything that is very precise and is much needed uh, by the farming. I will also like to share when we talk about doubling the farmer's income, it's not just about helping him produce more, helping him produce better quality so that he can get more revenues out of it. But one important area is how can you help him reduce the cost? So Navy Assist is one which reduces the cost, but you can see in the picture that Mr. Bora is sharing that there's a lot of dust in front of the tractor. That technology is that you have a front PTO and you have a rear PTO. So instead of doing 5 to 7 passes to prepare the land, to sow, to spread the fertilizer, you actually do it in 3 passes. So you actually save emissions, you save number of passes, you save fuel, and you do the same thing with much more accuracy, much more precision in just 3 passes as against 5 to 7. So you reduce the cost, and that I think would significantly be sustainable, environmental friendly, and also reduce the cost for the farming communities. Go to the next one. Now here is the story, and the story is very simple. What is precision? And Professor, you did touch. How are we accountable to every seed? How are we accountable to every drop of water used in agriculture? And how are we accountable for every grain that is produced? We don't want to produce anything that is useless, cannot be even eaten by poultry, if we talk of corn, or if we talk of any other grain, if it has got diseases, if it's not to the quality that we want, where it can neither be exported or nor be used by the public distribution system or go for processing, we are accountable for everything. And the precision redefines all of this. Make every seed germinate. Make every drop of water well utilized. And I'm sure the research that we did, and I would ask comments from Mr. Amit, Mr. Parag, or Mr. Anand, either of them. When we did this research, we were into the water system. We remember 70% of the fresh water was actually being used in the farm. Now, we have challenges of fresh water in the city. We don't have drinking water. Or we see that this is going to become a challenge over the next 2 years if we next few years if we don't do water conservation today. And that's why rainwater harvest, effective use of water, all that drive that the government is talking is about. But it's our responsibility that we leave enough fresh water for the next generations. We leave enough resources for the next generation. And how effectively, instead of flood irrigation, how can we do precise irrigation? So that's some of the things that we are talking about. And I would, before we go to the video, Mr. Amit, would you like to share? And Mr. Raj Anand, would you like to make a quick comment so that we all can understand what we mean by making everything count here? Any thoughts or any additional comments that you would have?
Sure. Amit Bora here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So I think precisely, I think Mukul sir, as you put together, make every seed count, and just for the benefit of the audience, you have the input cost, that you incur when you use the seeds for the input. The seeds that when you are sowing, it can you can have 2-3 seeds going in one location. You may miss certain area in your field, and that way there is extra seed cost that you are incurring. So can we, through technology, can we, through the precision, can we find can I put a singulation on my seeds, so the single seed at given space. So now if you can imagine the technology that is needed, like I have the prescribed length that I want to sow the seed. So I have to monitor the speed of the vehicle, I have to monitor the metering of the seed, I have to also monitor how only one single seed goes at the right depth of the field. So now once you imagine all this process, it is very very critical, it is very very technology oriented. And this precision, when we achieve with all the available technologies, we can call it as mechanical technology, the mechatronics technology, or all our machine learning technologies, we are able to make that happen. And that's where we feel that we are impacting the input cost that Mukul sir touched upon. Similarly, on the drop count, we do have precision spraying. It also goes, there are different nozzle that you see in the pictures. So for each nozzle, I know what is the speed that I have to monitor, what area it's going to spray. But more of that, we also have used the technology from fluid dynamics point of view, how the each droplet is reaching to the ground, and are we making the effective use of that spread of the water, spread of the fertilizer, spread of the herbicides, whatever that you are operating through the systems. So that's where we hit the technology for every drop count that we want to achieve through our journey. On the make every grain count, we do have very precise harvester systems, as much as low wastage that we can achieve through this, how we can maintain the moisture content, for example in corn and other grains, how we can do that. Also, we do have technologies like how the yield is coming to me on the fly. Can I measure the yield so that I know what is the yield that I got from my field? So in a short time, we just wanted to give you an overview that hey, the technologies exist in each of these areas, and these are very dominant from the cost of operation point of view for each farmer. And if we make a difference to that, I think we are surely going to be doubling the farmers income journey as quick as possible. That's it from my side. Anand, Parag, if you have anything to add.
Sumit, and I will just say that very well articulated by you, and which was started by Mukul sir regarding the water. Right now, most of the places we go for the flood irrigation. That we are going ahead with putting the water, which is we think that it is freely available to us. But at the same time, we are seeing many cities in the world are running out of water. We have seen many cities in the news that they are going not to have the water after a certain period. Now, when this comes, the flood irrigation, Amit talked about it, that how the oversupply of the water also impacts the size of the plant. And this is quite, we have done the extensive study, and then only we came to a situation that how much water is really required, how much depth of a seed is required to be, and which we will see in the few short videos coming up, the how the seed, where it should be and where not it should be. So these things are done in a precision way, and this is the time. I know that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and these were the things from years available to us. Like from 1959, I think the artificial intelligence has started, but the computation power which has increased in last few years has enabled us to make sure that why not to use those technologies, why not to use those fundamentals in the most important part of our life, and that is agriculture, and that feeds the entire planet. So these are the few examples which we will be bringing it, and further to it, if Parag you want to add before we go to Mukul sir again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Anand. I think all of the speakers have added to what the precision farming is. One thing that I want to add is that lot of agronomy data is collected before all these solutions are put in place, because we need the data for the soil, the moisture content in the soil, at the same time how the crop is growing. So for every step of crop cycle, a lot of data has been collected, so that uh, the right amount of probably fertilizer, or how the operations need to be to be performed, are done in a very precise way. So the technologies are being utilized from right from the preparation of the land until the harvesting of the crop. So that's that's it from my side.
No, I think these are significant value adds. So we'll just show that video of the story of two seeds so that they can understand this little better in terms of responsibility, and then we'll go to the next one. You might just want to escape and just click on the link so your video can be done. Yeah.
I think we can run through the link also, Amit.
Well, it worked very well in the morning for me. I didn't have to go to the link. I just clicked it and it just.
Two identical seeds can produce very different results if not planted exactly the same. These are two of the millions of seeds farmers plant each season, and the consistency of their depth and spacing across the entire field is a crucial part of a high yield. Seeds planted too shallow will have their roots exposed, and seeds planted too deep will use too much energy simply trying to grow out of the dirt. By placing every seed at the exact same optimal depth for germination and emergence, emergence will be even, leading to a higher yield. The distance between each seed is equally important. Seeds planted too far apart will unnecessarily take up valuable space in the field, while seeds too close together will be fighting for the same sunlight, as well as the necessary nutrients such as fertilizer that they depend on. Consistent spacing that leaves enough room for the seed to grow while considering spatial economy across the field is necessary for maximizing returns. Once the proper depth and spacing are determined, uniform planting will go a long way in ensuring high yields. Accuracy, multiplied billions of times over, helps create the products the world relies on every day, whether sourced from corn, cotton, canola, or soy. John Deere Precision Ag Technology removes the guesswork from planting, seed by seed.
So this is what we meant when we say precision. The technologies, not only in terms of sowing, but the same.
Welcome back to Two Box Live, part of Two Box Media, TWO Box Media. Hit subscribe, follow, share the show, all of that stuff. We're
Okay, sorry for that. I was just wondering who came into our two-seat story. Somebody wanted to make a comment there, but it was just a continuity of the YouTube, looks like. So that's what we meant, and the same philosophy applies to water. The same philosophy applies to chemicals, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides. How do we effectively do it? And I think it's very important for us to know overusage of these lead to soil deterioration. Underutilization will have an impact on this health. So the right balance, the precision is what matters. We'll go and show you one more slide on see and spray, and I think this is very unique to John Deere. What happens, and I'll take an example. This is no longer a paracetamol that you're taking when you have a fever. So you take a paracetamol, and if you don't know what happens, or a Disprin. We need some very laser sharp remedies, so that when we talk about kidney stone and things like that, it just hits you where the stone is, it breaks it, and the stone is out. This is the same concept here. Instead of spraying the whole land with chemicals and with pesticides and things like that, you just see where the weed is. You see it, and you spray the right amount right on the weed. So nothing else. The soil around it is not exposed. The plant where the crop is not exposed. It's just laser sharp on the plant or on the weed that is needed. This is called see and spray. And you will see how it has reduced 77% of reduction in herbicide usage. When you reduce such things, it's environmental friendly, it is cost effective, and farmer also has a chance to reduce his overall investments in agriculture. So as we see the video, I would again open it up to Mr. Raj Anand, Mr. Parag, Mr. Bora to add more comments and share how this technology works and how effectively it is helping farmer reduce his cost and also sustainability of the soil and environment.
I think, Amit, you are on mute.
No, I am not on mute. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So as the words mentions there, see and spray. So a lot of technology that we use there is the image processing. So when we see, we have on the fly cameras there, which notices the weed in the field. It captures the location through our GPS system, and it connects to a lot of algorithms that will process and give the messages to the controllers through our software that this is the location, this is the herbicide, this is the area that I need to spray the herbicide, and that's how the precision is achieved. And then it helps us to lower the operating cost. And these are the technologies are not these are built one by one. So it is like the base is the exact apply technology that we had introduced some years back, and now we are adding that with our image processing, machine learning technologies to get to the see and spray technology. Over to Anand, Parag.
So, thank you, Amit. And again, here we are going to use more and more the upcoming technologies. And definitely, Professor Moni, you have in my introduction, I said you about the regulations and the standards. What I'm having the responsibility. The important part here is that Deere is not only inventing these type of solutions for different country, for globe, for the planet, but also we are helping different regulatory agencies to make sure that these regulations are formulated before the technology arrives here, because it is always a question whether the technology arrives first or the regulation arrives first, and regulation takes always the backseat. But here, when I will talk, I think you're very. I'm very thankful that you asked me to talk about 5 minutes about the regulations. But here, Deere really helps each and every region, wherever locally or globally, to make sure that regulations are in the place for all these technologies when it is coming to the certain country. And definitely not only the global regulation, but also helping the local regulatory bodies how this can be developed, and that we are doing in India also. So I will talk more about when I will be talking about the regulations in the precision agriculture, and CN spray is one of our newest, I can say, the solutions which has come, and for which also the video demonstration will be there. Parag, would you like to add anything?
Yes, few things I would like to add on CN spray is that the need that brought this solution was with couple of aspects, as Mukul sir mentioned, is that one of the reason is we want accuracy in the spraying of these herbicides, because first thing, they are expensive. Second thing is the environmental thing that we are considering, because we cannot spray the herbicides right like as it is, because it may damage the crops that we want to grow in a right way. So CN spray technology, what it does basically, by using the technology, the latest technologies, it differentiates between the crop and the weed, and these herbicides are exactly sprayed onto the weed and not onto the plant. So it protects in a certain way by using technology, identifying this particular weed, or differentiating basically between the crop and the weed, and spray the herbicide onto it. Second aspect is the cost. uh, in India also, or worldwide, the herbicides are one of the cost high cost component. So farmers would like to use it judiciously, so they cannot and those farms in outside India are huge farms, so the cost incurred by this herbicide is going to be really high. And this technology, as you see on the slide, it will reduce the use of herbicide and the cost incurred by this herbicides. So accuracy of the spray, at the same time exactly spraying onto the weed and not to the crops. So this technology is going to be a breakthrough in the precision farming in coming years.
Thank you, Parag. And with that, we'll play the video. I hope it works.
Grain producers managing weed pressure on fallow ground need a complete weed kill. But managing herbicide-resistant weeds comes at a cost, as more expensive tank mixes are the solution. To address this head-on, we're introducing See & Spray Select on our new 400 and 600 series sprayers. See & Spray Select enables spot spraying of weeds on fallow ground, and is our first offering using this new technology, making it the only factory-installed spot spraying solution for farmers. Built on the ExactApply foundation, See & Spray Select uses advanced camera and nozzle control technology to differentiate color on fallow ground, detecting weeds and spot spraying. Spray length, or buffer, is the length of the spot spray zone. These lengths can be small, medium, or large, and can vary based on ground speed, spray pressure, and boom height. The system detects weeds and automatically turns individual nozzles on and off for the desired spray length to hit just the weed.
See & Spray builds on a foundation of our self-propelled sprayer with ExactApply to reduce chemical inputs by only turning on nozzles when a weed is detected, and it does that seamlessly and 100% integrated with the John Deere sprayer today.
See and Spray Select hits 98% of weeds, which is similar to the hit rate of broadcast spray. But since See and Spray only hits the weed and not the entire field, it uses an average of 77% less herbicide than broadcast spray. That's right. In tests on 75,000 acres of fallow ground in average growing conditions with a typical weed pressure of 3,000 weeds per acre, and using an average spray length of 2.75 feet, tank level sensor values reported an average herbicide savings of 77% when compared with a broadcast sprayer. These savings equate to reduced input costs, which can justify more expensive and complex tank mixes to manage herbicide-resistant weeds. Research has shown that weeds sprayed with more than 2 modes of action are 83 times less likely to develop herbicide resistance. So you'll target herbicide-resistant weeds more cost-effectively with one tank mix, containing more modes of action, and you'll only apply it to just the weeds, significantly reducing your overall chemical usage.
I am so excited to bring this new sprayer series to market because we're focused on 3 things that customer really value, which is quality of application, ease of use, and machine availability or uptime. They're going to also be able to reduce their input costs when it comes to herbicide application.
You'll also cover more acres per day because you won't stop as often to refill. For example, say you spray a 160-acre field with an application rate of 15 gallons per acre at an average ground speed of 12 miles per hour. If you tender 20 minutes for each fill, you'll save about 2 tender fills for that field when compared with a broadcast sprayer, which means you can spray the same field about 40 minutes faster. And in applications where you don't use See and Spray Select, you can simply switch to broadcast spraying without even leaving the cab.
To go from being a highly productive broadcast machine to getting into a See and Spray mode is literally a few seconds on the display to interact, and the machine is doing that job function. So the integration is really what keeps it simple for the grower to engage with the technology and get the value without having to either have an aftermarket system installed or go through other steps to get to that value.
The Exact Apply nozzle control system enables you to broadcast with more accuracy than traditional broadcast spraying, reducing spray overlap, which can save you 2 to 5% in chemical costs. Best of all, you can track and access your application data through the Generation 4 display. And since the sprayer is a connected machine, it streams this data via your JD-Link connection to the John Deere Operations Center, in which you can monitor performance and make decisions anytime, anywhere. A 400 or 600 series sprayer with See and Spray Select gives you 2 effective, time-saving sprayers in one machine. See and Spray Select lets you zero in on weeds with an effective tank mix. Or you can broadcast spray for overall application. As herbicide-resistant weed pressure increases, you can reduce input costs. You can spray and save with See and Spray Select, the only factory-installed solution that gives you both targeted and broadcast spray capabilities in one sprayer. Completely integrated with John Deere Precision Ag technology and supported by a single dealer.
This is a system that is very well integrated, easy to use, and they're going to help them to save input costs with the herbicide application, better manage the herbicide-resistant weeds they have, and also help them to be even better steward of the land.
For more information about See and Spray Select, visit our website or talk with your John Deere dealer.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Now, I think one of the most important aspect, and I think, Professor, as you were talking about several areas of agriculture and also the McKinsey study in the opening comment, the farmer needs a host of solutions. He needs integrated information in order to do better. Now, what are the things that impact him? It's the weather, it's the rain, it's the humidity, it's the sunlight. There are several things which probably may not be in his control, but if he has the information in front of him, he can best make the decision. As for example, if the temperatures are very high, will that chemical or fertilizer be most effectively absorbed by the plants? I'm just giving one example. So there's several information that the farmer needs. And if that can be rolled up to him in the form of a convenient information which he can just deploy, this is what we say integrated precision solutions information in order to help the farmer take the right decision, do it timely and most effectively in order to produce the best quality of fruits, vegetables, and grains that he wants to do. So this video actually will show you, which we call as the future of farming or farm forward, whatever we can say, 2.0, as to how this information system is best leveraged, what are the various informations, and how it is being impacted, how it impacts him in the long run. So with that, we'll show you this video as well.
The front should pass by midday. Based on drainage and when the rain stops, we should be able to start spraying by end of day.
Yeah. Drew on his way back?
He said he was checking on the boys.
All right.
Message from Walker Keane, John Deere dealer.
Hey, Drew. Updated and checked your combines remotely. All machines are optimized for harvest season.
Message to Walker. That's great. Thanks. Send.
Message sent.
Kate, did you see the latest?
Looking at it now.
Dad's, worried.
With the solutions the agronomist sent me, he'll be better. How are the boys?
They're working where we can't, and I'll be on it all night.
They'll get it done.
Your machines are set for projected yield and moisture. And we're also updating firmware on Harvester 3 tonight.
That's great. Hey, let's take a look at fields 5 and 6 tomorrow. May want to change some settings there.
Yeah, sure thing. We'll check in tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too, buddy. Go to field 5 and aggregate all. Mark.
Aggregate field 5. Recommendations from agronomist. Phosphorus nitrogen application on sections 2, 8, and 27 with health predictions.
Go with solution 2, field 5.
Solution 2, field 5.
They look great.
Mm-hmm.
With the weather, prices are up by 10 cents at the elevator. You want to sell?
It's not bad.
Yep. Shall we?
Let's do it.
So you can see how these informations all integrated helps in better decision making, helps in effective utilization, and helps in better quality of yield. So this is exactly what we were saying. Okay, it's no longer that we need to have independent information system, but have it integrated and have it in the best possible manner so the farmers can leverage this and take a better decision. So with this, we go to the last slide where I would invite Mr. Parag to talk about it and share as to what we intend to do, what are some of the areas that need intervention, and how this whole technology could be meaningfully leveraged in India as well. So, Mr. Parag, you might want to start and then let Mr. Raj comment, and of course, Mr. Amit Bora can sum it up.
Sure. Thank you, Mukul. So as you see in the video, the farmer and his family were involved into various operations and also interacting with dealer. So one aspect you might have observed that all these things are happening remotely, either via phone or through some wired or wireless connections. And a lot of technology was being used for the precision of the operations, right? From the sowing, from harvesting, from spraying. You did see some operations being done at the at the night time also. So what John Deere brings as a platform is a kind of an ecosystem for agriculture operations in precision ag. It also enables you to do farming anywhere, anytime. That doesn't mean you should be always present on your farm. The farmer can uh, try to understand how the progress of various operations are being done right at his fingertips on his phone or his tablet or right on the desktop also. We also, or John Deere also tries to bring together various partners, solution partners. It could be an agronomist, it could be a fertilizer manufacturer, it could be some experts into the agriculture field where they can provide some solutions to have a optimal or increase the productivity on the farm. So as you see on this particular slide, these are some solutions that John Deere provides today in our worldwide, in North America or Europe or some other continents. We have also embarked on the journey of precision ag in India, and few solutions that we have provided for our Indian farmers. One of the solution or a foundational solution I can say is the auto track, where the tractor is being guided by the guidance system using GPS coordinates of the farm, and that uses or steers the steering in a straight path onto the field. This enables the farmer, first thing is with the accuracy, the trajectory that the tractor is going to move, and also at the same time the farmer does not get tired because of the operation, the rigor to control the steering to run it in a straight line. So few solutions that we have embarked, however these are very early stage. We see lot of promising solutions that could come in India. uh, One thing that we are trying to build is the awareness among farming community that will help them to increase the income, and probably it could also contribute into doubling the farmers income eventually. One of the aspects that we see is also some hand holding for the farmers through some regulatory interventions, or also some support to the farmers to how they can use these technologies in India. One thing that I can tell is these are all technologies with precision, high-end technology that would enhance the farmer's income and also the productivity. So I hand it over to Anand.
Thanks, Parag. And I'll just refer the slides, 5-10 slides back when Mukul sir has shown the first technology solution what we brought here long back in 20 years back was power steering, and we can say that we introduced here, and others also got benefited with it. Same thing, and which helped farmers or anybody who is driving the tractor in getting ease of fatigue as well as the monotonous driving, and of course the pain in the hand and all those things when we get through the mechanical steering, as all we know. Same thing can be a good analogy, analogous to the auto track also, that if someone has to drive in the a straight line, and if has to control the hand, and how that can, the auto track solution can help here. There are some proven results globally what we have done in this area, and this is the same thing which we want to bring in the country also. I will focus on two things: how we can bring the technology and how we can put the regulations around it, and how Deere understands the responsibility, and how we can do this to make sure that industry gets benefited with it. So first of all, that how the technology, initially the technology transfer will happen from the global reasons, and then how we can think that to bring here, and definitely we will be working with different agencies, with the government, and then see that how we can get the ease of bringing the technology, and then working with different regulation bodies, whether it is TEC, whether it is the Department of Science and Technology, Bureau of Indian Standards, making sure that we are having a good standard around it and the regulations around it. So these are the two points I will emphasize at this point of time. And I think that there are many, like the next one was Smart Navy Assist, which is also going to be very much beneficial for the farmers, because all the solutions what we are proposing, it is ultimately is going to enhance the income of the farmer. And how it is, like the analogy is that energy saved is energy produced, the same way the money saved is money earned. So how we can produce more or a better result with much lesser input, that is what is the solution from the precision agriculture side. Amit, would you like to add anything further on this?
We have given good awareness, but definitely John Deere wants to be part of all this journey for all India ecosystem. And Parag and Anand touched upon collaborating with government agencies, collaborating for regulations, collaborating for different partners, and solutioning this. Our aim will be to make that difference to the small and marginal farmer, and focus on productivity, focus on cost of operation, and in the journey enhance the livelihood of all our fellow farmers. So that's it from our side. Mukul sir, over to you.
No, thank you. And, Professor Moni and rest of them who are on the call, originally we had planned to be all together to attend this. But, as we are all in business, sometimes the business pressures allow us not to, or compel us not to do what we plan. And we are all traveling in different locations. I have a meeting that has come up at so I will have to leave in another few minutes, and I apologize for a 5-minute early stop here. But if there are one or two questions, we would love to answer, and then probably we can take some of these questions over email and roll it back to you, Professor, where if there is anything that we can help to add more value to this session, we'll be happy to do so.
Yeah, thank you very much, Engineer Mukul Varshney. You can come out of the presentation mode. As you have to leave for a meeting, I have to do my honors responsibility of thanking all of you first. And before that, I would like to summarize that, things which we, all of us have done it today for the benefit of audience and the future, research scholars and startups and so on and so forth. Mr. Mukul Varshney, I thank you and your team for wonderful presentation on the topic, today, that John Deere's journey in India and integrated precision farming technology. And as I rightly said it in my, introduction in the initial 30 minutes, that why and how and where the precision farming is necessary and how to go about it, what type of policies are needed, how people are talking about it, and then what in the university, how we are taking it up. When I was in service, when I was the person when you brought an IT blueprint in agriculture, way back in 95. If you see that from 87, I was the project director for 512 districts computerization. When NICNET was established, expanded, and I was the project director for a district information system program district. 28 sectoral database development programs were envisaged at that time in sector-wise. Second, in 95, I was instrumental in having a national conference on informatics for sustainable agriculture development, which gave the blueprint for IT and agriculture, 15 informatics network. Then during the operations, I noticed that rural economy, rural India needs technology in 3 areas: agriculture, health, and industries, SMEs. So I started talking in that language, and whatever I thought that I am doing it in agriculture, I should convert as an academic discipline. And when I, in the University Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, they also put agricultural informatics as a research area to bring more rural youth into agriculture. So when they have discussed with me, invited after when I retired in May 2013 as the Director General National Informatics Center. Next day, June 1st, I joined the university as a Professor Emeritus, and during the last 8 years, I was able to set up these 5 centers of excellence. Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications to target SMEs digital transformation. The country, we have got 63 million SMEs. They have to be globalized. Second is that, these agriculture and Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Solutions provides MTech in Agricultural Informatics, BTech in Agricultural Informatics, PG Diploma in Agricultural Informatics, and a Diploma in Agricultural Informatics to retrain, to bring back all rural youths who have land to get into informatics-led development at the grassroots level. And when I was talking about it, when we were talking about grassroots level, when I talk about in 95 IT in agriculture, And when the blueprint, it was something like a single tractor, blowing on the, field. I was alone. And of course, the Minister of Agriculture was, and NIC was helping in, in operationalizing, providing fund and so on and so forth. And that synergization was important. And that time when it was introducing, that 15 informatics network, there was no farm lab. It is that, Deputy Director General Moni was telling, let us do it. And today you have a Farm Act. And now, when Mr. Patnaik was the Secretary of Agriculture, he put me as a Chief Advisor in Department of Agriculture Corporation when the Doubling Farmers Income Committee was established under the chairmanship of Dr. Ashok Talwai. I also has become chairman of two subcommittees, Volume 11 and Volume 12B, Digital Technology in Agriculture. What I was trying to do from 1987 to 2013 and beyond, and I made it as a recommendation, 7 mission mode projects. So during the COVID situation, I thought that this is essential to propagate. Today is the 14th edition, and both your team has done wonders. I should appreciate, and the credit also goes to Mr. Dinesh Chand Sharma. When I wrote to him, because I know him from 2014, and why don't you do that? He said that our partner John Deere will, participate, and they are our representative, and he has done wonders. And the credit goes to Mr. Dinesh Chand Sharma. Then, in order to see that today, the potential which you have shown, the integrated precision farming technology solutions. And I'm also very happy to hear from Mr. Anand Raj that before technology comes in, regulation has to be there, because we are going to deal with the farming community. They may know, may not know. And the thing is that they have a plot as an asset. It has to be effectively, utilized it in a sustainable manner. So the thing is that with this focus on Center for Agricultural Informatics and Research Studies and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management is to bring in digitalized value chain in 400 agriculture commodities. And then I read it out all the 7 mission mode projects, and the technology which you brought in today. You talked about that it facilitates for a strong collaboration between John Deere of company and Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology in the journey of agricultural informatics, digitalization of rural economy. It will be very nice. I will be very happy if if John Deere can join with Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology in our journey. That why don't we have a certification program or diploma program for the rural youths in joint collaboration between John Deere and the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology through these centers of excellence. It can be 3 months, it can be 6 months, because you have technology, you have missions,
Professor Moni. I think we'll have to cut it short because we have a hard stop for Mukul sir, and he needs to be at North Block at 1:30.
I'll finish it.
Sorry.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
And this is an important thing, and it is an important technology. You talk about regulation, you talk about this technology. It is on ground, and your videos have shown is a proof of putting it in eating, and how you also put it your organization's commitment, that integrity and commitment and technology and so on and so forth. So what else is necessary? And this is what we should jointly walk down to the grassroots level. Even at the age of 68, I thought that as a technocrat, as an MTech computer science from IIT Chennai, 76 to 78 batch, working government for the last 35 years and then continued with the university, I thought that unless the rural India is digitalized, unless the rural India in a digital agriculture platform economy is established, until the 14 crore operational holders are digitalized, until 400 agriculture commodities are in digital value chain, until the livestock economy is digitalized. It's very important. And the last one, which I would like to put it, is very important. That the last one, you talk about the less expenditure is more, more income saved. And the thing is that the last one of the doubling farmers' income recommendation is that integrated farm health management system. Farmer health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fish health. And as a principal advisor to e-health systems technologies, is an NRI company from based in Chennai, Pune, and we are trying to bring in health informatics value chain. And 85% of the disease comes from the animal, and health is very important. If the soil is not good, you can't have a healthy food, and you can't, the minerals in soil balances the cells in human, cells in plant, and cells in animal. So the soil health is more important. And applications of digital technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data analytics, and advanced analytics, robotics, they're all leading to another green revolution. That is GRIN, green revolution.
Professor Moni, Professor Moni, sorry, we can release Mukul sir, and then we can still continue. We three will be there if you would like to.
Mr. Mukul, Varshney, and we'll continue our discussions later when you are finding time. And whenever you are coming to visit Delhi, please join us. We'll have meeting in the with the Chancellor. Today the Chancellor is busy in the university. He's not able to join. So whenever you come to Delhi, and you let us have it. Otherwise, whenever you have time, we will have a meeting with him. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And all of you have a lovely day today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukul sir. Yep.
And so to complete one, that this is health informatics value chain, which I'm also in the another journey which I'm doing it. I think the John Deere, with your strong technology applications in the crop sector, plant health, and we can work on plant health informatics value chain and how it can be integrated with the human health conditions, because artificial intelligence and data analytics can ensure appropriate nutrient in the soil and harvested food to reduce human health disease. So this is an important thing, that artificial intelligence and big data analytics will ensure that nutrient efficiency in soil and harvested food to reduce health disease. I think with this one, I would like to thank all the Mr. Mukul Varshney, Mr. Amit Bora, and Mr. Barak Kulkarni, and Mr. Anand Raj, and also Mr. Dinesh Chandra Sharma, for having this webinar series today is successful. And I would like to, with this, I would like to thank everybody. And with this, I would like to close the webinar and leave studio.
Thank you very much, Professor Moni.
Thank you.
It was really nice interacting with you and knowing a lot.
Thank you very much. And greetings from Shobhit University. For more research inquiries, please contact Professor Moni Madhuswamy, Professor Emeritus and Chairman, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, and former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India, New Delhi. Have a nice day. We will close the webinar.